Alrighty, old GK, the gatekeeper here. Got old Mudduck dropped this by. This is a FatBoy 4-pill. 4HG 454s. Neat little transistors. Basically, he just wanted some modifications done to it. Amp worked fine. Amp worked great. Needed no repair or nothing like that. He just basically wanted his little thing done to it that he always likes. He likes these red switches right here. Wanted me to make the wires a little bit bigger on the B plus. These are 14 gauge wires now instead of 16. He wanted me to upgrade the power wires. These are what's on at 10 gauge, which is completely adequate for this box. He just wanted to upgrade them. We got the old thick new concepts on there. Let's see here. He wanted a preamp with an invert circuit. I hadn't built one of them in a while. Took me about 2.5 hours to put that together. He wanted me to change the relay out, and don't get me wrong, this relay right here is completely adequate for these transistors. Completely. He just wanted a bigger relay. And remove the remote out, and we just that's where we put the power wire right here. Next thing, he wanted a sideband delay. This is still class C, but he wanted a sideband delay. But the thing about that, for these switches to still light up, see, we're switching the ground part to the capacitor. So you wouldn't be able to do that with this particular switch because it needs power to light up. So what we did to get around that is he wanted to hide all this. Up under the front of the board right here, there's a single pole, single throw relay that's mounted with some heavy duty Gorilla Tape. It ain't going nowhere. It's up under the board. And so basically the sideband delay, which is this switch right here, is just switching that relay on, which is using a positive. And we utilized every ground point. He wanted me to make sure to put no more new grounds on this board. So every ground point was already using, like for example, this ground right down here. That's where the LED was grounded. So I grounded the switches to it, and that's where the ground for the relay is. Now I did have to add one new ground, of course, for the delay cap, which is right here. Couldn't get around that really. Let's see, the last thing he wanted me to make sure to do is to hide all the wires. So I had to remove the board, and as you can see, all the wires are hidden, meaning they're not going across the board. That's just kind of a signature thing the old GK's always done. It takes a lot of extra time, but it's just one of my little signature things. I like hiding wires. I can't help it. And it's going through some high temp heat shrink down there through the heat sink, so there's no chafing. So anyway, it worked out great. I was able to find me a solid piece of hobby wire here to run straight across here. I like doing that instead of having to use 3 separate wires or do something all ugly and everything. Now, when putting this relay down in here, I had to extend this. Now, this right here was soldered straight up to the other relay. So what I did is just extended that with a wire straight to the relay there. And I did put a new keying circuit on it as well. Had to add a new ground right here for the preamp. That's about it. So, power switch, sideband, preamp, invert. Preamp works with the box off. And you can hear it keying right here. We had just a tad bit of reflect with the relay because you got the RF flowing from this relay to this relay, back out of this relay and out. A little bit of an impedance bump. Maybe a tiny bit of reflect, but we went ahead and smoothed it out. Oh, ta 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 ta. No movement whatsoever. Oh, ta 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 ta. And that was done with this compensation capacitor you see right there. And you can hear it clicking. That is the relay being bypassed so the preamp will work with the box off. Alright. Box on. Just to show it working, we're just hitting it with a 3-watt radio, about 14-15 peak, 500-watt slug and peak, about 450, a little bit over 110, 120 RMS. That's what she's doing, man. SSB delay. Without the SSB delay. With the SSB delay. Without. It's working good. Well, there you go, brother. Input reflect. That's a 5-watt slug, so the input reflect is very, very low. So I'll go ahead and get the fan hooked back up, and we're done with this butt booger. Hope you like it, Mr. Mudduck 73.